in momentum coming through on the markets yesterday, but one would assume that this naturally expected given the massive ramp up we've seen in the markets over the recent trading sessions.
Yes, I think what we've seen a good rally over the last few weeks, but what we're seeing is another round of profit taking by investors. I think we shouldn't underestimate how our fingers were burnt, investors' fingers were burnt over the last 18 months or so. So I think we're going to continue to see this trend of gains and then quick profit taking, followed by the bears taking over for a few days, and followed by another rally. It's going to keep going up and down. I believe for the rest of this year.
So the fact that we saw both GTB and Zenith Bank falling back a limit down yesterday, no need to be concerned over those moves. We're putting it down to mere profit taking, right?
Yes, I believe so. As you see, the results by Zenith, for instance, was much better than expected. So although many believe that there may still be some shocks in the next few weeks from the various bank results, I think what's going on now is definitely profit taking, rather than any other or bad thing happening in those markets, in those companies or sectors.
Of course, we've got earnings reports in the spotlight. So with that, let's put UBA's numbers under the spotlight there. It released results showing a decline in profitability, of course, due to some of those provisions being made. Overall impressions of those numbers from your side, because from what I've been reading, the markets had pretty mixed reaction to them.
Absolutely. I think what we're seeing is actually a maturity maybe in our market. Whereas in the old days, people used to get extremely excited by bonus issues, etc. I think people now see bonus as more of a dilution of the value of their shares, of their investments. So I think what we're seeing is that people aren't that excited by someone giving 1 for 5 or whatever, and also some investors believe that this is just a show of to show that that the bank is still okay, not so much that you're doing extremely well, but just to do something for investors. Thereby, and therefore the result is that people aren't that excited by those corporate actions.
Of course, we've seen UBA issue that a bonus of 1 for 5, but aside from that, they unexpectedly also declared a dividend per share of 10 kobo. Are you surprised that these banks, because it certainly hasn't been UBA alone, Zenith has joined on this bandwagon declaring a dividend. Are you surprised that they are not doing more to conserve cash in order to take advantage of the possible consolidation that sits on the horizon here?
I am surprised by that, and so are many other investors. But again, I just believe that my view is that everyone wants to show that they're healthy, and therefore the trend at the moment is show investors that you're healthy, that everything's okay in house, and therefore in order to please investors, most institutions are doing everything they can to give them something back.
Well, looking at UBA, we've got Stanbic IBTC Bank saying that their buy recommendation on UBA is currently under review, as the bank's reported PAT was 64% below their forecast. They've also got their current target price sitting at 19 Naira, which implies a total expected return of 31% over the current share price. How are you looking at valuations on the stock particularly?
Many believe that some of these stocks, some of the banking stocks are still overvalued, overpriced, sorry. And of course, we have to bear in mind that the performance of many of these banks, especially during a period recently when many of them have gone to other markets, and people want to see, how they perform in these other markets is actually quite important. And so for many of them, they're not really seeing the returns that they're expecting to be getting from the other markets where they went into. So I believe, my view is, and that of many others, is that maybe some of them are still overpriced right now. My view is that over the next few weeks we may see another negative rally, should we say, and which would be a good time for people to come in.
Well, Olusegun Akande, Managing Director over at SBA Research, thanks so much for your time this morning. Of course, we will be tracking developments on that market. Certainly things are going to be heating up, of course, with the bank certainly under pressure to release their fourth quarter results, with the 10,000 naira fine per day being imposed from today.